So we continue our series of looking around the Tower of London. We're looking around this whole iconic place piece by piece and going in more in depth, which really gives you a flavour for the history and what went on in this tower. And I think it's probably quite true to say that so many people have been completely surprised and just thought it was purely about torture and about this place. Also, the Bloody Tower, which is another place we're going to cover at another point. Now here we're at Water Lane, the cobbled streets of Water Lane. And we're going to look in this video at the torture part. Yes, the bit that everyone associates the Tower of London with. So join us as we go on a tour of torture. So here in the rain, we start at St Thomas's Tower, and this is the gate called Traitor's Gate. And once upon a time, the Thames would have flowed in through here, right to the bottom of these steps, which would have brought the boats in from the Thames with the prisoners in it. They would have walked up the stairs, then across these cobbles and in, through and under the Bloody Tower, with this portcullis hanging right above it. And just look at those spikes to keep people in or keep people out. They would have gone through this arch. And then you've got the magnificent white tower looking at you. You'd have also had old buildings and walls right in front of you here. But then, yes, it's torture at the tower, at the Lower Wakefield Tower. And this is the bit of the Tower of London that is devoted to it. So as you can see on this wet and rainy day, as we go underneath the Wakefield Tower, which is up above, which we've covered in previous videos before, which of course is part of the palace of here at the Tower of London. Here we go down the steps and in, because we're going down there to look at the different torture things they had and they used here at the Tower of London many, many years ago. So as you come down and you're in, you've got the exposed wall of the old tower, and then you go through the door here and you're in the part of the whole of the Tower of London which is devoted to torture. So if you think about the Tower of London and where we've shown you so far, actually it's only a small area. We're going to show you around, we're going to show you some of the implements and some of the devices that they used as well as having a look around here, the Lower Wakefield Tower. Now, prisoners were kept in different parts of the Tower of London, and we've seen that from a lot of the graffiti held in different parts of the towers. And if you go back to some of our previous videos, you'll certainly see that there. Here we're looking at one of the torture devices, which was the scavenger's daughter. And as you can see here, a person would be put in there and then they would actually tighten the bit up so it couldn't be moved. So as you can see, not only have you got the device, you've also got the illustration of someone in there, but also you've got the piece here which tells you all about it. So we move on from one device to another, and this is probably the most common one that people come to see. And this, of course, was the rack. So the arms would be placed in these ropes up here. You'd have these large handles, and then you'd also have the feet tied in at the bottom. And then the rack would move in both directions, both up and down, as an implement of torture. And it's good to see from this that actually they had this, we're using this, which is a replica, and the original that they found in the 18th century, which was found in storage, has since been lost. The question's got to be, how do you lose something that big? Anyway, there you go. Our third and final device that we have here is this device, which was the manacles, and this actually shows, as you can see here, Nicholas Owen, and it's an illustration from the 17th century. And actually what would happen is people would be hung by their wrists from the manacles and left hanging there as part of the torture. Now, we've been collecting the different videos on different parts of the Tower of London, and this is part of that. And of course, we couldn't bring you the Tower of London without bringing the torture aspect, which is what so many people come to have a look at when they're here and they're visiting the Tower of London. What I'm really hoping this video gives you the sense of is the fact that yes, the Tower of London did hold prisoners. It was a big jail in the centre of London, but it was also not only that, but actually it was more than that. It was a royal palace, and actually just sort of moving away from the torture aspect which everyone comes to associate with the Tower of London. And I think these statistics sort of bear that bit out as well. Right, I'm going to leave you with a video in the top right hand corner of somewhere else here in the Tower of London, and this is one of the churches that if you come here, you've just got to visit.